Hey guys, this is Trevor with the Weird with a Side of Bacon podcast. I just wanted to give you a heads up. For whatever reason, our microphones decided not to start working until we hit about the 12-minute mark when we recorded this episode. I think I know what went wrong. It shouldn't happen anymore, but nonetheless, this episode, the first 12 minutes, do sound a little weird. I had some backup audio. I'm using that. It obviously doesn't sound as good as the microphones, but it shouldn't be an issue in the future. And again, it's just the first 12 minutes. Pretty much the intro and a little bit of personal story. And then once we get into the guts of the episode with Misty's first news story, things are back to normal. So sorry about that, but again, it shouldn't happen anymore. And thank you for bearing with us. Thanks, guys. You're about to listen to the Weird with a Side of Bacon podcast. We cover weird things, but part of that may include adult themes and content. We'll be talking about things like butts and boobs, and there will be swearing. It's kind of what we do. If there are any kids in the car, you may want to change the channel. Thanks, and enjoy. Hey, sweetie, what can I get for you?
Do you have any of today's specials left?
The weird? Oh, yeah, we got lots of weird.
And can I get that with bacon?
Sure. Weird with a side of bacon. Coming up. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 10 of the Weird with a Side of Bacon podcast. I am one of your hosts, Trevor. I like to cover weird history and weird facts. And our next contestant shall be Misty. Misty, what do you do?
I cover weird news articles from all around the world.
And our other contestant for today's show is Stephanie. What area of weirdness do you cover, Stephanie?
I cover social media stories.
All right. Well, as we like to start every episode, we like to talk about any weird events, a personal origin that any of us have. I have one. Do you guys want to hear mine?
Of course you do.
Of course I do. I do.
I think we won one episode so far without you having a story.
Maybe. Weird things happen to me. I can't help it if I always end up in weird situations because I'm a weird person.
Do you put signs on his back that say, please have weird things happen to me?
Anyway, today's particular weird was I made the mistake of going to the gym on a Friday, like early afternoon. I didn't realize this, but the more often I've ended up at a gym on a Friday early afternoon, the weirder the people are that are there. There's some norms, but there's definitely some odd ducks. And this particular Friday was definitely an example of that. First, I'm doing weights. And then, as I'm done, I'm going into the locker room. And there was a guy who, they had one of those hand, the air dryers to dry your hands, environmentally friendly instead of the paper towels. And there was a guy drying his tennis shoes. Again, whatever, not that weird. But he was still wearing them.
Okay, back up for like 2 seconds here.
Yeah.
How is it not weird that you would use a hand dryer to dry your shoes?
Well, I think if your shoes somehow got wet, I'm not sure how they got wet, but you're like, I want to dry these a little bit, the only shoes I got, you want to hold them up to the hand dryer? I'll give it to you.
Was it raining?
I don't think it was raining outside. I don't know how he got them wet. I'm not sure how he got wet.
Either he has really sweaty feet or...
He peed on him.
Okay, so there's 3 options.
Sweaty feet, peed on him, or... What was yours?
Did he have a water bottle?
I didn't realize if he had a water bottle because he was spread eagle, one leg on the ground, one leg 4 feet in the air, 3.5 feet in the air to the air dryer as he's trying to dry his shoes as he's still wearing them.
Shoes? He was drying it and not trying to dry the ball set?
That's a really good question now that you mention it. He might have been trying to dry his balls. I'm not really sure, but it didn't look like it. It looked like he was putting his feet to the dryer, but...
Sure, we'll go with it.
Sure.
He was wearing pants. He's doing the thing, you blow up one leg.
Now I want to go to the gym, right? And lay on the floor and just stick one foot up and find out where the air blows so that way I can report back.
Okay, you're going to do that. That's on Misty's to-do. As you see...
No, when we go to the gym next week, we're going to do that. We'll both do that.
We're going to both do that?
Yeah.
Then we're gonna find out somebody else is another weird with a side of bacon type podcast. And like, I was at the gym and these two weird women were just they're drying either their feet or their beavers on the thing.
Yeah, but it'll be hot when we do it. Was he wearing sweatpants or like the athletic pants?
I think he was wearing shorts.
Athletic shorts then?
There's athletic shorts.
He's
drying. Yeah,
it was a ball sweat.
You're right. I'm thinking it's weird, but that's just perfectly normal now.
It's weird that you were watching.
I didn't like stare at him. Okay, there's probably a couple seconds of bewilderment of me just actually like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So maybe it was for a little bit.
If you see it again, just ask him, are you drying your shoes or your ball sweat? I will give you $100 if you do that.
If I ask him?
Yeah.
All right. If I run into shoe drying hand warmer,
quote unquote shoe dry.
Yeah, guy, I will ask him if he's drying his, and then why. We'll get into why next. We'll go into it. But yeah, that was my weirdness for this week. So Friday afternoon at the gym. I cannot be the only one who's ever noticed this. Fridays early afternoon at the gym is weird.
Anyways.
All right, we are going to get into our articles that we each have. Of course, we each bring 2 articles to the table every episode. And to remind everybody, we do a bacon rating at the end of each one to see how weird we all feel it is. So it's a rating of 1 to 4. 1 being not that weird, 4 being pretty weird.
We did get a suggestion, though, from a fan.
We did get a suggestion from a fan. I think that was from Spike, who, by the way, I am pretty sure is coming up twice in this episode. 1 on a suggestion, and today, one of my articles. I totally was suggested by Spike to do. But anyway...
Spike is so popular.
Spike is the coolest.
We should get Spike as a guest on the show.
He's no Scott Matthews, but he's pretty cool.
Right. We need Scott Matthews.
Where is he?
Scott Matthews actually suggested the other one. When I say suggested, I mean I read it in his book. But anyway. So yes, our bacon rating, 1 through 4. 4 being really freaking weird. And you can even add crispy for extra, being like, that is super crispy. Up first is Misty with the news. Misty, what's happening in the news today?
Well, I come to you with a news article from the New York Post. And it's called Porn Site Traffic Surges to 12-Year High After Mattel Mistakenly Printed a URL on the back of a Wicked doll box.
So you mean Mattel, like the toy company?
Correct.
They make like Barbie doll, don't they?
Well, Barbie is the big one.
The big one. But they do make other toys, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So is this Wicked like, that's like...
Wicked the musical.
The musical. Oh, yeah. That came out not that long ago. So what did they print on here? What is this website?
The giant toy Mattel has manufactured merchandise for Wicked. On the back of those boxes was a link to Wicked.com, which Wicked.com leads you to a porn site.
And nobody figured this out ahead of time?
The real site for the film, and that was supposed to be printed on the back of the boxes, was supposed to be wickedmovie.com.
You missed a vital piece of information.
Yeah, called Movie.
Okay, my favorite part about it, though, is that when Wicked came out, they said, we need to have a website. And they looked at wicked.com, and they're like, oh, shit, well, we can't have that one. And that's how they ended up with wickedmovie.com. Well, they figured it out. Mattel apparently didn't.
Wicked Pictures produces porn movies.
Uh-huh.
And they also have a movie porn out there for Captain Marvel XXX.
Wait, so they do like parodies?
Yes.
Oh, that's even better yet.
So it's unclear to Mattel of whether or not the plan was to capitalize on Mattel by mixing up and marking it as an X-rated version of Wicked.
Oh, that's bullshit. So Wicked, so Mattel is trying to blame the website, except for it was out for 12 years before they did these dolls.
Correct.
Oh, that's bullshit. Mattel fucked up, and Mattel is trying to blame somebody else. That's what happened.
Well, I don't know if Mattel themselves, but whoever does the promotional... Not even that. Their boxing engineers screwed up with their prints on the labels on the back of the box.
Somebody had it out for Mattel and was like, fuck it. I'm just going to not Put the word movie in this website.
This has got some
Blackmail.
guy's like last day, and he's like, I don't even
Yep.
give a shit anymore.
Fuck you, Mattel.
Fuck you, Mattel. You're out. Please don't take that out of context, Mattel. You make great things. Please don't sue us. We really don't want to tell. We're not telling you really to fuck off. We're just saying. So, but yes, yeah, somebody's got to be in charge of monitoring this. Somebody's going to be in charge of looking this
in
up.
different departments, you think somebody would have caught that it was not the legit site.
Well, that's what I mean. Don't they have like a quality control guy?
Well, I'm going to guess.
Not just the quality control, but my guess is that they do a sample one first to present to like corporate to be like, this is what we're going to be putting on the shelves.
But how many people actually go to the website on the back? Like, I would have never pictured to go to wicked.com.
Apparently, a lot of children and their parents do, based on the fact that Mattel did it and the website skyrocketed. Stephanie, are you about to go to wicked.com?
No, what I want to look at
is parody of Captain America porn.
I want to see if they have a picture of the box.
I have a picture of the box.
Oh, Misty's got a picture. All right, Steph, describe us what it is. Like, was this very evident?
I don't think it really is. Like, it just shows a picture of the dolls, and then it shows the back of the box above the URL, like right above the URL code.
There's nothing like promoting, like any sort of promotional under the copyrights for Universal City. And it does just say www.wicked.com.
This also begs the question, if a place is making a large production, multi-million dollars, do you think that wouldn't be a good idea to be like, hey, we should look, because we're wicked.com, or Wicked, should we maybe look and see if there is a wicked.com and maybe try to buy the rights to it? Do you have to be careful when you do that? Because Pen Island had that issue. That's a pen manufacturer. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but just like Bic and all that, there was a company that was called Pen Island. But the problem is that they said, oh, our website, just look up penisland.com. But the problem with penisland.com is that's also penisland.com. They ran with it, and tons of people went to penisland.com because of Pen Island.
Well, wicked.com is the website for Wicked Pictures, and that company was established back in 1993. So that company has been around before Wicked came out.
Yeah, so they had dibs on it. I mean, at least Wicked was smart enough to go with Wicked Movies, but quite obviously the toy guys were not paying attention. So
they have Pen Island Pens.
Is that their website, penislandpens.com?
No, now it's penisland.net.
That's still penisland.net, right?
Yes. But penisland.com, there's no information available for that page. Anyway.
So I think, let's see here. Are you ready for a bacon rating on it?
Sure.
All right, let's do a bacon rating on it. All right. The amount of weirdness is small, but the impact is large. I would say I would normally call that a 2, but I think the impact that it had of literally millions of visitors to this site or whatever, because of their one little fuck up caused a major catastrophe, I'd call it a 3. I'd give it a good 3, I think.
I gave it a BLT.
Misty's just going with the BLT.
I actually was waiting for him to just give you the 2 to see your response. Since somebody gets upset over a 2 bacon rating.
I don't get upset over a 2 bacon rating. I'm fine.
Uh-huh. Did you just hear yourself?
I give it a 3.
Well, thanks.
A solid 3.
I wish it would have talked more if whether or not a lawsuit was brought against anybody, or if anybody brought a lawsuit against Mattel for bringing their kids to a porn site.
That's a good question. You know somebody did. You know somebody did more than complain. That, you know, somebody at least went and talked to a lawyer and said, my kid went to this website off of this toy and I want millions of dollars.
Why not? People got millions of dollars for spilling hot coffee on them when they know it's hot.
Okay, there's a reason behind that lawsuit, though. That's because McDonald's told the court system to kiss their ass. Because the court system said, you got to lower the temperature of your coffee while we're doing this lawsuit. And McDonald's said, yeah, we're bigger than the government. We don't have to listen to you. And when they didn't, they just fined them a huge pile of money. as a idea of saying, hey, you don't want to listen, we're going to hit you hard enough that you notice and you pay attention. And there just happened to be one woman who happened to be in the right spot at the right time. She brought the lawsuit, and that money had nothing to do with her. That extra money was because McDonald's tried to tell the federal court system that we don't care what you say. Yeah. So the federal court system punished them hard. It had nothing to do with her other than she got burned, obviously not a lot. She got burned a lot, but most of that money was because McDonald's tried to tell the government to fuck off. And the government said, fuck you.
I do see that a woman in South Carolina sued Mattel.
For the Wicked thing? Mm-hmm. Of course.
But of course, that was after like original news articles came out about it.
They probably never even noticed it.
Oh, after the news article came out, then they went to it on purpose just to try to put a lawsuit together?
Yeah.
Ooh.
See, now I think that'd be different because then you purposely went to the website.
Oh, yeah. That's
just
the guy.
To do it.
Yeah.
And then say, well, I didn't know anything about this.
Yeah,
baloney.
That's the equivalent of the person who finds a wet puddle on a floor and then pretends to fall down in it and then sues. That's exactly what that is.
Almost a month later, that's where the woman in South Carolina was trying to sue Mattel. So it's like, you can't tell me that she didn't hear about it. This was
this is like
big
planned.
news. This isn't like local news, but what happens.
All right. Next up, I do believe is you, Stephanie. Stephanie, what do you have for us in the World Wide Web of Weird?
Reddit story. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for not allowing my children to call my mother honey?
Hold on. Do they call her honey as a nickname? Like, is it short for something? Or are they saying like, hey, honey, want to go home tonight?
Oh, like, is it a term of endearment, honey? Or is it like everybody calls her honey?
Right.
Like, like you have a friend named, everybody calls Woody. Like we have our friends, they got a mom, everybody calls their mom Woody. Is it like a Woody honey? Or is it like that sounds weird. Woody honey. Oh, yeah, that's
Honey
weird.
Woody?
Honey Woody, Woody honey? Or is it like honey, like endearment?
Let's find out. I, 29 female, have been thinking about starting a family recently. My mother, 50 female, recently stated she does not want her grandchildren to call her grandma, but wants them to call her honey. She says she wants something uniquely different. She thinks it's endearing and says she will be sweet as honey to her grandkids.
Okay, so that still begs the question.
Do you ever notice that I pause for Trevor?
Yeah, probably a good thing because you know it's coming.
Okay, yeah. So is she creating her own nickname, honey, or do they literally want her to call her honey, like you said, like, hey, can you pass the butter, honey? Hey, I love you, honey. It still doesn't explain it. I don't get it.
She and her husband call each other honey, and I consider it a romantic pet name and think it is odd as a grandparent name. My siblings agree with me. My husband thinks we should just let her choose whatever name she wants, but I cringe every time I think about it and want us to come up with something else we all like. She thinks I'm being the asshole, and it will be her grandchildren, so she gets to decide. Am I the asshole?
Why can't they just call her like TT or
Grandma or Grammy or
right?
Yeah, no. I
Hey,
don't think,
Meemaw.
I don't think your grandkids should be calling you the same nickname that your spouse does. Okay, I feel like that just doesn't go off well.
See, my mom always wanted to be called Grandma Becky.
Well, that makes sense though. Mm-hmm. But like, what did your dad call your mom?
People just call her Becky.
Becky? You didn't call her hun or honey or none of that stuff?
No.
No, just Becky. I still think it would be weird in context, though, to have. I'm trying to think one. I call you Hun sometimes. Would it be weird if our kids called you Hun?
Yeah.
Your grandkids cannot call you the same nickname that your spouse does in terms of endearment. It doesn't work.
Absolutely not.
There is an edit. I've seen several people ask why this is even a conversation now. We have a dog, and since my mom has decided on Honey as her grandparent name, whenever she's talking to her dog, she is calling herself Honey. Don't you love when Honey comes to visit? You love Honey, don't you? I roll my eyes, and then the back and forth starts with the name. I've made some suggestions, like even Grandma Honey, but she is adamant it will only be Honey. If the grandkids call her something else, she plans on correcting them and saying to call her honey.
I like how she's flexing with the dog. She's like, call me honey. She's just laying
love
down.
me, honey.
I love she's
Just
laying
lick my
down.
face, honey.
Oh, just laying down a path. She's just like.
Is she the type of person who lays on the floor and lets the dog French kiss her? Because I feel like that's what's going to happen.
Call me honey.
Maybe.
I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, okay, that's my favorite part. The dog part just ups the whole thing. It's not even a real person, and she's already like, psst, dog, call me honey. Woof, woof. Honey, it's honey.
You love honey, don't you?
Okay. Even if the grandkids did call her honey, they're going to hit that age and they're going to be like, why in the hell am I calling my grandmother honey? That is what I call my girlfriend. That is what I call my wife. Like, that is not what I'm going to call you.
Yeah, those kids are gonna grow up, and that is gonna be a story. These grandkids will be like, all right, when I was little, my grandma made us call her honey. And I didn't think anything
And then
of
we
it when I was
stopped
a
talking
kid.
to her.
Yeah, I didn't think anything of it when I was a kid, but now I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? Mm-hmm. That's creepy.
I almost feel like that's almost like a teenage boy calling his mom mommy.
Oh, I've seen that. That one where a kid's way too old to be using mommy.
That was the one name I never wanted to use. I don't know why.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Call me
I don't
mom.
think
call me
Troy
mother.
ever did use mommy. It was always mom.
My kids go, mom, mommy, mom. I'm like, okay,
He does
Stewie.
use mother once in a while, but that's when he's being a smartass.
That sounds
Okay,
like him.
mother.
Ooh, that totally sounds like your kid.
Yeah.
My kids, if I don't respond to them right off the bat, it'll be, hey, Misty. I'm like, what?
Were you guys middle named when you were growing up, when you were in trouble?
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Oh, yeah. I got the middle name. Mm-hmm. Why, did you get the middle name?
Oh, yeah.
That's because we were bad kids.
At least our parents thought we were bad kids. We just thought we were cool.
The shit kids get away with now. Oh my God, I can only imagine what our parents would have done.
I think we got away with more shit than our kids do now. I know I did. I was telling my kids about some of the stupid stuff. Today it came up. For one is the smoking thing. Remember it used to, like, everybody, you couldn't smoke on school grounds, but you could smoke across the street. So across the street from the high school, it would be like 50, 60 kids smoking cigarettes directly across the street.
Because you were
from the high
on school
school.
property.
I know. But I was like, I asked Cooper, like, does that happen anymore? She's like, were you crazy? No, nobody does that. So.
It's actually funny if you ever drive by the hospital, which I'm sure you've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, across the street.
Not even across the street.
Across the sidewalk.
Well,
They're on the sidewalk right by the ambulance entrance. And I'm like, you're still on hospital grounds.
That's probably where the line is.
I can't say too much because, like, when I had to do visits at the hospital, I would just go out to my car. Of course, it was middle of winter, so.
No, I don't think kids get away with the stuff as bad as well as we used to. There was a time I actually drove my tech ed teacher's car to McDonald's a couple times. I don't think kids do that anymore.
I'm going to say probably not.
No. So, but again, that was a different time. You could do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the 90s.
So, Trevor, what do you have for us?
Where's your bacon rating?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot.
You just gotta
Back up. Jeez, damn.
Dang, girl. Okay,
I
that's
give it a
fine.
BLT.
You just want to give something a BLT. You just do. You're
I
like,
do.
Spike suggests BLTs. Something deserves a BLT.
I do. I like BLTs. They're yummy.
Did you even explain what the BLT was?
No.
We talked about Spike, but you didn't explain what the BLT was.
Well, that was the sandwich, the bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich.
But do you remember how it pertains to the bacon rating
Because it's above a 4?
for crispy?
Well, it goes 4 crispy BLT.
BLT.
Do you believe that's above a 4 crispy?
She just wants to give the BLT.
You just want to give something to BLT. Well, you
I
can
just
do
like
whatever you
saying
want.
it.
You just like saying the BLT.
Okay, bacon rating.
Okay, bacon rating. The dog part really helps a lot. I'm going to go 3 on it. No, I'm going to put the crispy on. The dog part adds the crispy. What's that look? Because you got a 3? I'm getting a look. What happened?
Nothing. I just wanted to pout at you.
It's working. I would say 3, but the crispy is because of the fact that she is putting down her foot using the dog to create precedent.
I think I'm going to go with a 3. I think it would have been better if the daughter would have said it licked her in the mouth, then I would have gave her a 4.
Well, when you mentioned dog, I thought the daughter flexed the other way and got a puppy and named the puppy Honey.
Actually, that would have been hilarious.
That would have been even more funny.
I thought that's where it was going to go. I was like, oh, that would be great.
Oh, look, my mother is a dog.
Why does Grandma have the
My
same name as the dog?
A lot of people would say that about me. There's a lot of dogs named Misty.
There are a decent amount of dogs named. I think horses. There's more horses named Misty. I think there's a lot of books where horses were named Misty. Maybe
As long as they're not jackasses, we're good.
a donkey named Misty.
Sorry, it's not always about me.
It is always about me. I have a microphone. I can do whatever I want.
Even when you don't have a
A
microphone,
microphone,
you
you
make
do
it
what you
about you.
I do. I really do.
All right, Trevor, what do you got?
Okay. I'm going to do this one's a quick and easy one. Yes, Stephanie.
One soggy,
Oh, wow. We're going to do this again.
negative BLT.
Okay, what would that even be? That would be less than one soggy. Okay, all right.
That's the BLT not even put together.
That's the lettuce and tomato with no bacon. That's a lettuce tomato sandwich. No bacon whatsoever. Okay, this one is a quick and easy one because the fact that my
Like
other
you?
one
Okay.
is quick and easy. That's what they call me. Quick Shooter McGee.
Okay, honey.
The dog's name is Honey. I like that idea.
Okay, sorry.
So this one I'm going to be calling Relaxation with the Chance of Death. This comes to us from a CBS News article that did a story on this in 2013. And 1,144 random, interesting, and fun facts you need to know by Scott Matthews.
Yay, he made it back.
There is a place in Jakarta, Indonesia called the Bali Heritage Reflexology and Spa. So just a spa in Indonesia.
Say that 5 times fast.
In Jakarta, Indonesia, there's a spa called Bali Heritage Reflexology and Spa.
Oh my
Jakarta, Indonesia, Bali Heritage Reflexology and Spa. This place uses pythons for your massaging.
Are we going back to the pythons in the toilet?
You would probably prefer this, the pythons in the toilet, because yes, you literally lay on the table on your stomach, no shirt or anything on you. And they take, it looks to be about 3 to 4 pythons, and they put them on your body and they slither around you and massage you for relaxation.
I think only you would have an issue with that because snakes don't scare me.
You want 4 pythons crawling across your naked body for a massage?
Where are they going to go? They're not a leech.
Oh, that's true, but it's a python. They like kill people. Yes, Stephanie.
I'd prefer the python over the ferrets.
Okay, yes, compared to
very
episode yes, compared to episode number 9, the pythons would be better than ferrets in your pants. So that is a good point. Am I thinking this is weird and you guys are like, no, this is perfectly normal? Am I weird?
I would try it.
You would do it?
I would try it.
you
I
would
mean,
do it?
it's not any different than now them attaching leeches to severed pieces that they put back on you to suck the blood to help circulate it.
I guess it's just me. I really do. Well, okay, so one of the things they said is during the interview is the movement of the snakes and the adrenaline triggered by fear is said to have a positive impact on the customer's metabolism.
Well, now I definitely want to try it.
Okay, I am the odd duck out here. You're right. So this is, okay, I think I'm going to end up with a really low bacon rating on this one. I'm thinking this is weird.
No, it's weird,
It's
but-
weird in the sense that, you don't hear of stuff like that.
Right. You don't have massage parlors
We're
around
just
here
saying that we would try that. That's also weird.
So we're just weird.
Okay, maybe it's the two of you. I mean, we have a very small sampling here. There's only 3 of us. Me, I don't hate snakes, but I don't love snakes. Okay, and snakes on me, on my naked body, no thanks. But you guys are like, go for it, huh? All right, we need to know. We need to have people
YOLO.
comment on the comment on the episode if you think this is cool or not. Because I need to
You
know.
got to remember too, though, that these pythons have nothing to actually wind them around you. Your back or your front is legitly secured to a table. You are laying flat.
So if you're laying there and all of a sudden one of these pythons curls itself under your neck, around your throat.
I'm assuming that there's all cavities are filled so that doesn't happen.
I think you make a lot of assumptions about the massage parlor in Jakarta, Indonesia, that puts pythons on you. I'm out. You guys are doing it?
Yeah.
I would do it.
I was a kid in elementary school and we were on a field trip where you could hold animals and they had a python.
Yeah, you put
I
it
was
around
like the
your
only
neck.
kid in the class that was like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You guys are cooler than me. So, well, I thought
Damn
this was
straight we are.
I thought this was weird and crazy, and you guys are
It
like,
is weird. Stop saying it's not weird.
I think I'm weird now.
You are. That's why we do this.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So, all right, I'll ask it. What's my bacon rating?
One soggy. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to give you a BLP. No bacon. All pickles.
Wait, you still have the B in there. The B's the bacon.
Oh.
PLT?
A PLT.
Pickles, tomato, and lettuce. I'll take it. No, I won't. That's not fair. You're wrong. This is weird. Normal people don't do this.
3.
Steffi gives me a 3.
Soggy.
Soggy. 3 soggy?
I'm just kidding.
Fine. No, you can't take that back. It already hurt.
Nope, just a 3.
I would give you a 4 just by your reaction.
Ooh, that's
if there
true.
was a snake here.
If I had to
That's
like,
true.
hold
I-
a snake while doing this
I
article.
actually
Yes.
go up to a 3 crispy now because of the reaction. I never thought about the reaction.
All right, yeah, because I think you guys are a little on the nutty side.
You would stand there and watch, though, wouldn't you?
Yes, he would.
Well, of course I would, yeah.
We're nutty and he's stuck with us. So
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Oh, I'm
That's
so
fine.
sorry.
Well, I will
if
take...
anyone has a python, please bring it to us.
I know somebody with one, but they don't live around here. Her name is Mia.
And she has a python?
No, the python's name is Mia.
What was the name of his other leg?
Honey.
Honey. So, well, I am bewildered and surprised, and I want to know what other people have to say.
And he's
People have to
thinking, what the
comment.
hell did I get myself into?
I guess my fear of snakes is more than I thought it was. I thought I was like, oh, I'm okay. I just don't like them, but
Now, if it was lay on a table with tarantulas and spiders, I'm out.
that's true because you don't like those.
Correct.
That's a good point. Stephanie, what if it was, which would you rather, the snakes or spiders?
I'd probably still go snakes.
Missy's going snakes all the way. She's like, snakes, no spiders.
100%.
That was my question.
What about you?
How many spiders?
Wait. Snakes or earwigs?
Oh, earwigs are the worst. Those little fuckers, they'll pinch you.
I know.
Oh, no, yeah, I'll take the snakes over the earwigs.
See, not weird.
I don't
think
remember
they're-
the last time I've seen an earwig.
Doesn't matter. They're still the
They're
grossest
gross,
thing.
but
to
yes,
me.
they used to be awful, and now they're like,
Yeah, there was
they're
a couple
very
years.
few.
There's a couple years like the early 2000s where they had like a really huge surge here in Wisconsin and they were everywhere.
I'd
I remember
squish
one
'em.
person said they found a half of an earwig in their toothbrush.
Ew! Where'd the other
Yeah.
half go?
That's a good question because they only found half of it in their toothbrush because it would attracted to liquids and stuff. So it'd be in your
Yeah.
shower. And,
Yeah.
I'd have to check my towel every time I got out of the shower.
I always had to shake out like the beach towels because you hang them and they would go in there because it's cool and wet.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Do you need a tissue?
No, I think I sucked it back in.
That was we all heard it. We're like, what is that noise?
Sorry.
I do believe we are back to you, Misty. What is your story today? What is your second story today? We already had a story of yours. What's your second story?
My
Like the one
second-
after the first one. You already did your first one. Okay. All right. Sorry. What is your second story today?
Okay, so my second article today is from NPR. It is about a Alabama mom That is
Alabama.
That is a 1 in a million to deliver 2 babies from 2 uteruses in 2 days.
There's a lot of twos there.
2 babies. Wait, a baby out of each uterus or 2 babies out of each uterus?
I'll get to that.
Oh, dang.
Damn, Skippy.
Okay, all right. Either way, all right. Just starting with 2 uteruses, I'm pretty sure that counts as a little on the odd side. So I think that counts. And then having a baby out of each uterus within 2 days seems a lot. And then 2 baby. If it's okay, I don't know.
Stop talking so she can tell the story.
Okay, all right. I'm done.
Are you in labor?
That's what I was just thinking.
I don't know. I'm panicking. That's my panicky. Also sounds labory, doesn't it, when I panic?
Slow down your breathing. In 1, 2, out 1, 2.
Okay, quick question.
Okay, yeah.
Was he breathing along with you when you delivered?
No.
I don't think I was I?
No, but you kept trying to tell me you need to slow down your breathing, and I was like, oh, hell no. It's not happening.
No, I think I was a hand holder, though. I think I did a good job with the hand holding.
That and you rubbed my back.
Yeah. See,
until the
rubbed your
epidural was
back.
put in.
Yeah, hand holding, rubbing back. See, I'm a good guy.
My mom basically called me a wuss for getting the epidural.
After 16 hours, I was done.
I think she was just jealous because she had to pop out 3 without the epidural option.
Jealousy is an ugly green
Love you, Mom.
monster.
Anywho, go on.
Anyways.
Anywho, yes. All right, so 2 babies, 4 vaginas. I lost count. Where were we at now?
2 babies, 2 uteruses.
This is
In 2 days.
in 2 days. So a 32-year-old woman from Alabama welcomed 2 baby girls. But unlike typical twins, these babies came from 2 separate wombs. She vaginally delivered the first baby at 7:45 p.m., followed by baby number 2 delivered by C-section 10 hours later.
How does that work? So she has 2 wombs. So like one of them's going through labor and she's delivering while the other one's still doing its own thing? Like is she having contractions in one uterus and not the other?
The article did not say.
I imagine they didn't get into that part, but that's the intriguing part. How would that work? You know, you're supposed to push when they contract or whatever? Okay, he's just looking at me like a weirdo. You're like, yeah, weirdo.
No, it's not a weird question at all. I have no idea. But nonetheless, when she was a teen, she was diagnosed with double uterus syndrome, which has a different name for it, but I wasn't going to try to butcher it.
Fair enough.
So the slooba-dabba-dooba-day
Which
syndrome.
occurs in 0.3% of women. So 0.3% of women have 2 uteruses and 2 cervixes.
It's actually higher than I thought it would be, to be honest with you.
What's really weird about it is she has 3 kids before the twins that were all normal pregnancies.
Okay. Out of a uterus, or some out of one and some out of the other. That is just weird. So she goes, and so there's 2 babies total.
2 babies total. They are legitly considered identical twin. Well, not identical twins, but what do they call it?
Fraternal twins?
Fraternal twins.
They would be. I mean, theoretically,
There were some questions asked if they would be even considered twins, considering they were not in the same womb.
But their DNA
Well, that
should be the same.
aren't twins usually born just like a minute or 2 apart?
They normally are, yes. But fraternal twins are 2 separate eggs that are released, where identical twins is when 1 egg splits to 2.
Oh, that's right. But yes, these are 2 separate wombs.
So yeah, they would be still considered fraternal twins.
Okay, so but either way, so she got pregnant in 2 separate, and they're born the same day. So chances are the conceiving happened the same time for both.
Wait, didn't you say the first one was born at like 7:30 at night?
Yeah, and the other one was born 10 hours later
So it'd be the next day.
by C-section.
Yeah, but still, I'm assuming then that they were both conceived about the same time, or maybe the exact
yeah.
same time.
It doesn't state, but I'm going to assume that they weren't very far apart. I'm assuming that they were conceived at the same time, and maybe one she actually went into labor for, that or they induced her
To line them up on
to
purpose.
line them up on purpose.
I just got this weird image of sperm seeing a fork in the road. There's not supposed to be there's not supposed to be a fork in the road. Like, which way do we go? I don't know. There's not supposed to be a fork in the road.
Okay, Team A, go that way. Team B, go the other way.
Right. We're assuming it's the same father for both babies, right?
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. It's two separate. There's a lot going on here.
Trevor's confused.
I'm just trying to figure out all this math.
Who wouldn't be? Sounds like a hot mess. All right, bacon rating.
That's a weird story. That's at least, is it a 4 or a 3 crispy? Stephanie, you go first.
Why put the pressure on me? I'm still deciding.
I mean, it's a 1 in a bazillion or a 1 in a billion or whatever. It's got to be a 4. It's got to
One
be
in
a
a million.
Bazinga. It's got to be a 4 because statistically it's extremely weird. So whether we want to call it weird or not, based on the actual numbers,
It's weird.
it's weird. So it's got to be a 4.
I was going to go for it also.
Nice. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Steph, what do you got for us?
I got another Reddit story from the subreddit Petty Revenge.
Ooh, we haven't had a petty revenge in a long time. Last one I thought was a guy with his naked underwear. That was the last time we had a petty revenge.
Abusive ex refused to move out, so I did it for her in the most inconvenient way possible.
So they'd already broken up and she just wasn't moving out. Okay.
I had broken up with my ex about a year prior to this event, but she wouldn't move out. One excuse after another for a solid year until one day, amidst yet another argument, she finally admitted her plan was to stay indefinitely and threatened to claim domestic abuse if I did anything about it.
Oh, she seems like a peach. God, I wonder if she's still available. That's a winner. That's what you want.
That weekend, she decided to go out for one of her weekend vacations with a girlfriend. So I took advantage of the 48 hours I had and got to work reserving a storage unit and rented a moving truck. I worked around the clock loading the truck multiple times, only sleeping a few hours that entire weekend.
How much shit did this lady have?
Apparently a lot.
She had hoarding tendencies that I had long turned a blind eye to, had to pick my battles, and it had gotten pretty far out of control. Not only did I make dozens of trips, but the storage unit itself was almost too small for it all. It was truly amazing how much crap she had managed to pack floor to ceiling in multiple rooms, closets, and the garage despite living in the same house together for so long.
So after they moved all her shit out, it had to be like empty, right?
Maybe, I don't know. I made sure her laptop was the very first thing in the storage unit all the way in the back corner, followed by all of her clothes. So many fucking clothes. Then furniture, then all the meaningless hoarded junk. By the time I was done, that storage unit was packed floor to ceiling to the point I had to really play Tetris the last couple of loads in there just to get the door shut. She was right at the end of a semester of school and not only needed the laptop first thing the next week, she was also planning on leaving for a cross-state road trip to visit family, and everything she needed for that was at the very back. From what I heard, it took her and a friend the better part of the week to find the laptop and repack the storage unit. She missed some important deadlines at school and delayed her family trip by a whole week, which messed up the other plans and wasted a few PTO days at work to boot.
Love it.
Oh, this is really petty revenge.
There's more to the story.
Oh, God. Why didn't he just fucking move out? At this point, it's probably less work if 90% of the shit in the place was hers.
But you don't
But
know
if it was his house,
it could be his house.
I didn't think of that. He might have owned it.
Yeah. And she moved in with him.
Oh.
The best part came months later. You see, when she first came back from that little weekend vacation, I had asked her to sign a receipt to receive the key to the storage unit. She immediately refused, threw a fit, tried to steal my dog and failed, tried breaking into my house while I was gone, then came back hours later with about 6 cops in her wake. To this day, I don't know what lie she told them to get that entourage, but after I explained my side of the story, they realized it was just a civil matter and quickly left. The receipt I asked her to sign was simple enough in that I offered to pay for the storage unit for 6 months if she signed it that day. But since she didn't, I removed my card from the account and put the unit in her name. Only problem was the card she then put on file with them was an authorized user card linked to my account, which I promptly canceled. So then she missed enough payments on the storage unit that they locked her out and she was never able to get the rest of her stuff before they presumably auctioned it all off.
Dang. This is a lot. I feel like this is too much.
it is, but at the same time, he gave her a year to get out. She didn't leave. She was going to push him out by the sounds of it.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right. She did show her cards, and she
did not
won.
play them well.
Based on the fact of what we know about her from his point of view, and we know about him, but what things he's admitted, they had to be a great couple together. They just had to be such a fun time. You know, those are the ones that like bitch and argue. Like you didn't want to go on vacation with them because you knew they would just scream at each other the entire vacation. They're that couple. So
I'd like to know where she's at right now.
Well, tell you where she's not. His place.
Without her thousands of dollars worth of clothes. She's at least got her laptop.
That's true. She found a laptop.
It just took her a week to find it.
It doesn't take a week to go through a storage unit.
She might not have been that diligent because I'm kind of thinking the same thing. If he was able to get everything packed and in the storage unit in 48-hour weekend, shouldn't she have been able to find, like take out a box? No, that's not it. Grab a box? No, that's not it.
He was one person. She had a friend.
Yeah, he did that all himself.
Yeah, there's something's going on here. Either this chick is really dumb and or lazy. I don't know what's going on. Something's funky. But yeah, he did her good.
But anywho, bacon rating?
I give it a 3.
I'll say 3 crispy. I was going to say 3 crispy on it. Well, no, I'm going to go 3. I think I'm going to go 3. Missy's right.
It's weird, but not weird enough. I think it's kind of like my last story.
It's petty.
You need more,
You need more info.
I mean, kudos to him, though, for burying the laptop.
I'll take it. Trevor,
Yes.
what do you got?
Oh, God. All right. This one's going to really quack you guys up a little bit. So this one I'm calling What the Ducking Happened. This comes from an NPR article from 2011, a BBC article from, I think, 2025. I was kind of surprised. BBC does not do a good job saying where their articles are coming from. From beachcombersalert.com. I'll get into that more. And a book written by Donovan Hone. I'll get into that more some too later. So before I get into the guts of this article, this is the one that I had mentioned earlier was recommended by our listener, Spike.
Spike.
So this happened in 1992. A container ship named the Evergreen was stuck in a storm about halfway between Hong Kong, where it left on its way to Tacoma, Washington. And during that storm, 12 cargo containers fell overboard. In one of these containers was a bunch of toys made by the company First Year's Toy Company.
I feel like I missed out. You told a Toy Story. You're telling a Toy Story. I got no Toy Story.
Oh, that's a good point. Stephanie, up your game next time.
Give a toy dog.
That's true.
So again, the name of the toy company was First Year's Toy Company. And in particular, the item that was in this shipping container were part of the Friendly Floats Toys grouping. And in the Friendly Floats toys was a 4-pack of bathtub toys. They contained a red beaver, a green frog, a blue turtle, and a yellow rubber ducky. I think it was more of a plastic, but we're going to still go rubber ducky because either way. In total, there were 28,800 bath toys in this shipping container. And the container popped open when it hit the water. So it fell off the ship, probably into another one, and boom, it pops open.
Can you imagine?
These toys were all had a cardboard backing, just like or hanging on the wall at a store on a peg. Had the plastic front, and the back of it was just cardboard. As soon as that cardboard got wet, guess what happened?
It disintegrated.
It disintegrated within minutes, and there were 28,800 bath toys floating around in the middle of the ocean. Red beavers, green frogs, blue turtles, and yellow rubber ducky.
Oh my God, I need a picture.
Right?
There are pictures of it. And they've done reenactments of it too, and I'll get into that some more. So this was a major duck-up created a scientific phenomenon. And it has become a treasure hunt also for many people.
How many got away?
Oh, a lot. A lot got away. For one thing we got to mention about these things, like I said, they're more of a plastic than just a rubber. So they're not biodegradable. And these particular bath toys did not have a hole on the bottom of them. A lot of them are squeaky. You can squeak, 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 squeeze them. These did not. So they never filled with water. So these things just floated, and they've now been floating around for 33 years because this happened back in 1992. These toys have now, of course, they cleaned up a lot of them. As soon as they could get out there, they did some cleanup, but I don't think it was a lot. This happened between Hong Kong and Tacoma, Washington, middle of the ocean. There's nobody regulating it. I have a feeling a lot of just went on their own. These things started washing up all over the world. Initially, a lot of them landed in Alaska. Some landed in Australia. And some of them even went all the way around the Arctic Circle. So they went around Alaska, over the top of Canada, and came back down in the Bering Straits, so over by like Britain and all that. This took years. One of the bath toys landed in Scotland, and they still estimate there's about 2,000 of these things that are still out there at sea that they haven't located yet.
They could be washed up on some desert island that has never been touched by man.
Yeah. Or people have found them and didn't even know what it was and just tossed it or whatever. Or they're just floating around. The ones in the Arctic Sea. How many
sharks do you think ate them?
They do think that some might have been lost from like fish and other animals biting at them and all that stuff. The ones that went all the way over to Europe and all that, I forget how many years it took them, but they would go up the Arctic Circle, freeze in winter, thaw, move a little bit, freeze again, thaw, and it took like 15, 20 years for these things to make it all the way over there. The cool part about it, though, is scientists are using it to study currents. The ocean itself has a current, just like rivers. You hear about like, various currents that move and things get sucked in different directions and all that. And they have ideas of what a lot of these currents are. They've studied a lot of them, but they're now using these ducks to figure out a lot of these currents. So like, okay, we know there's a current here and a current there. We think about this many years from now, some ducks will start showing up on this place. And if they do, then they've confirmed their scientific research. And it's a fun game. They can predict where they're going to land. So back to where we were, where you had mentioned beachcombersalert.com. Beachcombers are not just people who wander the beaches picking up things, looking for shells, but the hardcore ones actually go out hunting for things. And one of them is these rubber ducks because they're famous rubber ducks. So they'll go out to the various beaches around the ocean and they just walk the beach and they pick up debris and all that to be good citizens and help things out. But what they're really doing is they're looking for certain items. And one of them is these rubber duckies.
Toys.
Yes. Like I say, the website is beachcombersalert.com.
Makes me want to go Coma Beach.
Well, yeah.
To see if we could find any.
And they go through and they talk about these famous spills and the items that they found, the rubber duckies and all that. So again, the red beaver, green frog, blue turtle, and yellow rubber duckies, they're fetching about $1,000 a piece. If you find them and you want to sell them, not all, depends on what kind of condition it's in. I believe the red beavers and the green frogs, I think, are the ones that are holding their color. Or it's the red beaver and the blue turtles. I can't remember. But the duckies and one of the others are fading a lot. So if you find one that still has most of its color and you want to sell it, you can get up to about $1,000 for these duckies or these rubber floaties you can find. These beachcomber guys, they follow other things. There is also a spill in 1990 of Nike running shoes. Same thing happened. Container ship full of running shoes fell off overboard. Popped open. The cardboard boxes, of course, popped open as soon as they hit the water.
They could be hundreds of miles to the bottom of the sea.
Right?
No, they float because they had like a foam bottom. That's why these are the big ones. There's lots of them that fall over and they just sink to the bottom and nobody cares because there's nothing to do about it. But there are 61,000 Nike running shoes that in 1990, same thing, went into the ocean, floated around, and the scientists have used them to study things. These ocean currents, and these beachcombers are hunting for them. One of my favorite parts, if you go to the website and you look around, there's pictures of these guys, but they're holding up their finds, and it's like when guys take pictures of fish that they've caught. Like they're holding these Nike shoes, off to the side with a smiling face in front of them. Or they got like a whole lineup of the rubber duckies and stuff they found.
Sorry, I can't sell them. I have 2 left feet.
Oh, do you get more, do you think, if you find a matching pair? Like you find 2 number 10 and a halves, one left, one right?
One left, one right.
I would think so.
Would you
One
wear
would
them?
think.
Would you wear them?
No.
Because they're floating in the ocean for. If you found them now, that would be 30.
Yeah, you.
5-year-old. Smells like low tide.
Well, now I know what I want to do when we retire, okay?
We're gonna be beachcombers looking for rubber duckies.
Yeah.
Well, I had mentioned earlier a book by a guy named Donovan Hohn. That's Hohn. I did not mention the name of the title of the book because I was worried it was going to run out of time. But I'm going to tell it to you now. Are you guys ready for this?
Uh-huh.
The name of his book, which is specifically about these rubber duckies, this bath toy spill. That's all this book is about. It's called Moby Duck, The True Story of 28,800 Bath Toys Lost at Sea and the Beachcombers, Oceanographers, Environmentalists, and Fools, including the author who went in search of them.
Jeez.
That's the title.
Of the book?
Yes, I'm going to do it again. Moby Duck, The True Story of 28,800 Bath Toys Lost at Sea and the Beachcombers, Oceanographers, Environmentalists, and Fools, including the author who went in search of them. So again, this entire book is based on just this one spill. I'm not saying it's not significant, and the guy did do a bunch of stuff. He actually went to Alaska, helped do a cleanup, found, I think, one of the beavers. Somebody else found one of the ducks and gave it to him. Like, I get it. He did a lot of stuff, but this book is 478 pages long.
He had to keep like a journal of it, of his.
I'm going to write a journal that it's basically written about
Like
all
a daily
the different...
journal, and then he turned it into a book.
It better be pretty significant because that is about as in-depth as
Do you think
can
the
get on
library will have
anything.
this book?
You think the library will have Moby Duck, The True Story of 28,800 Bath Toys Lost at Sea and the Beachcombers,
Just wanted him to
Oceanographers,
say it again.
Environmentalists, and Fools, including the author who went in search of them? I mean, it might. We'd have to go there and probably pull up the card catalog and look for Moby Duck, The True Story of 28,800 Bath Toys Lost at Sea and the Beachcombers, Oceanographers, Environmentalists, and Fools, including the author who went in search for them. But it might.
So let's not turn that into a movie.
Somebody has read this book, and you can ask them, what's the longest book you ever read? And at 478 pages, that would be the answer.
Because the title is the longest.
How do they even fit that on there? That's going to be small print title.
It is available
How much
At
is
the
it?
library.
at
Is it Amazon?
3 local.
At 3 local libraries? Shit, that means I have to go get it. Oh, Stephanie. So anyway, I did get excerpts. I got chunks of this book. Excerpts.
I think it's expert. No, I can't.
I can't say these excerpts of the book. I did not get the full book, but I did get a couple of chapters of it. I was able to locate, not knowing I could actually pick it up at the local library. I did not think it would be there.
I wonder how often they lose shipping containers.
I think it happens a decent amount. I'll admit I am on shipping container TikTok. Yeah, that's a thing. After I looked at this and I did my more research, weird things show up.
Did you start following it, or it was a recommended?
It was on my For You page. Is now there are tons of videos where container ships are end up a big ocean and a big storm, and you'll see the containers falling off of the ship into the ocean. Now I will admit, if next time I'm at the ocean, and if I'm walking a beach, I will be in search of green beavers, red beavers, green frogs, blue turtles, and
If your
yellow rubber
beaver's
duckies.
green, you got a problem.
I'm always looking for a good beaver at the beach. Now I have good incentive. Yep. Either way, it'd be worth going to the library just to pick up a copy of Moby Duck, The True Story of 28,800 Bath Toys Lost at Sea and the Beachcombers, Oceanographers, Environmentalists, and Fools, including the author who went in search of them.
One of those fools would be Trevor.
I kind of would want to. I don't know what it is, but if I would really want to, because they did say Alaska is like one of the main places you can find them, which makes sense. In fact, I did read somewhere that a couple of them actually made it to Tacoma, Washington. which is great because that's where their destination really was. So someone made it to Washington. Like, good for them.
So
They really tried
up,
hard.
when they picked up a majority of them, where'd they go with them?
I don't know. I think at that point, they're not going to take them back to Hong Kong and repackage them. They probably went into a landfill or something like that. And again, I saw pictures of big piles of them, which makes me think they picked them up, but they also did reenactments of this, taking 500 rubber ducks and they've put them out in the ocean and then watch them and clean them all up because, they're trying to show what kind of environmental impact this really is. Those pictures, but is that just pictures of that one? Did they ever actually pick any of these up? I don't know. And I won't know until I pick up my copy of Moby Duck, the true story of 28,800 bath toys lost at sea, and the beachcombers, oceanographers, environmentalists, and fools, including the author who went in search of them. So I'll never know until I pick that up.
Pick up what?
Moby Duck, the true story of 28,800 bath toys lost at sea, and the beachcombers, oceanographers, environmentalists, and fools, including the author who went in search of them. I bet you it's somewhere around page number 432. That's my guess, though.
No, it's in memory of at the end.
In memory of the ducks who have lost at sea. So that is my story called What the Ducking Happened. I hope it quacked you up. Did it fit the bill? What is my bacon rating for my ducky story?
Ducktaculous.
Ducktaculous.
It's a DLP.
Yeah, all right. I like it. I like where we're going with this.
It's quacking crazy.
Quacktaculous.
Quacktaculous. That's staying. That's forever. Quacktaculous.
I give it a quack, quack, quack. A 3 quacky.
3 quacky. I'll take a 3 quacky. Well, guys, I really appreciate listening to my story about the book I read.
Which was
Moby Duck, the true story of 28,800 bath toys lost at sea, and the beachcombers, oceanographers, environmentalists, and fools, including the author who went in search of them.
Fun fact, you didn't actually read the book yet.
I read parts of the book.
Report back to us when you actually read all.
What episode am I going to be on? It's a 478-page book about ducks. Not even ducks, rubber ducks.
They're not even all ducks.
They're not even all ducks.
Rubber bath toys.
Rubber bath toys.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
Ba-da-da-da.
You make my bath time lots of fun.
Ba-da-da-da. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode number 10. I had fun. I hope everybody here had a good time, and I hope our listeners did too. If you did, please give us a rating. Leave us a comment. As we always like to say, that helps other people find us. Please check us out. Remember, we are also on other social media things. You can watch videos of our podcast on YouTube. You can see us on TikTok. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram? Mm-hmm. We're on Instagram, right?
Yes.
We're on Instagram. Also, like we've said, if you want to tell us a story of something that has happened to you or a weird news story that you think we should cover, please do so. You can send it to us by email. Our email is weirdwithsideofbacon@gmail.com. Again, there's no A. It's just weirdwithsideofbacon@gmail.com. Again, everybody, thank you for checking us out. As we always like to say, keep it weird, because normal is just another word for boring. Thanks, everybody. Bye. Bye.